Welcome to We Need to Talk Now, presented by AT&T. This is a very special live edition after this amazing women's hockey game that we just saw. And I'm Alicia J. I am here with somebody that you hear about a lot on this podcast. We have definitely heard her voice on this podcast, but now we are seeing her. Yes, now we are seeing her, and this is We Need to Talk Now producer Emma Ruby. Thank you for being here. We had to jump on after this game. We had to.
I know we did, and Erica's busy doing her thing in Milan. You know, she was actually at the game, so I'm not jealous at all, like in the slightest.
Definitely having FOMO, like over here. Right? For
Oh my gosh, to be like there when US is getting presented with their gold medals, one could only dream, right?
Yeah. We'll definitely have to break it down when she gets back, hear all about it. But right now, we're going to talk about this Team USA gold over Canada. Megan Keller's with the OT goal. And of course, Hilary Knight, she tied, she tied it in regulation, 2 minutes, just a little over 2 minutes remaining in the third period. So exciting. Like, I'm still catching my breath, to be honest.
Heart rate's still coming down a little bit. Yeah. Like you're taking your deep breaths to try and regulate your nervous system.
Absolutely. I mean, going into this game, obviously the US were heavy favorites. They had, in kind of the round robin or preliminary games, they beat Canada 5-0, right? And they actually swept them in a lot of ways, like in the matches leading up to this. It was just US over Canada. So a lot of people had them as the heavy favorites. They were also 31-1 overall in all of the games that they played in the Olympics going into this. So like
goals, that was not,
Yeah, that's not a little stat right there. Like I could definitely see why they were the favorites, but coming into the game, and seeing that first goal that was scored by Canada, great goal for them. It actually was set up in a way, I don't know about you, but that bounce, set them up just right. I'm not saying they didn't earn it.
It's always hard to give up a shorthanded goal. Like that's a real mood killer, especially when you've been trying so hard. Like we saw them trying, and it's like you're starting the second period on the power play. That's usually when you score your goals, and then you let one up shorthanded like that. Really took the wind out of the sails a little bit.
It definitely did. And I would say, and a lot of people would say, that was the first adversity that Team USA had in these Olympics. So just imagine having that as your first adversity in the gold medal game. I know. Crazy.
And really, especially when you consider how young this team is. I know we've talked about it in the balance, and that is not to say that players like Layla Edwards, Caroline Harvey don't have international experience, but none of them had played an Olympic gold medal game before. So like you can expect some nerves, right? But, here we are now. They brought it back, obviously, but it wasn't without losing a couple years off of my life in the meantime.
I mean, you want to talk about nerves. The nerves I was having, like, I can't even imagine the nerves they were having because I was on my couch, having these nerves.
Yeah. No, and I think, that's where then you see Hilary Knight score the goal that tied it. It's like, honestly, nobody else really in that situation, I think, that we could have expected to score that goal or have wanted to score that goal. It's very poetic when you consider that this may or may not be her last Olympics. I know she said after the game, she's like, we'll see. When asked if it was her final Olympic goal, I was like, Hilary, stop playing with us.
I know, because she did say going into this that she was going to retire. So seeing her say that after, I was like, girl.
It's really easy when you're going out on gold, right? Like you just want a gold medal. You're like, I don't know if I want to be done. But it's like when the next one could be a loss to Canada and you're getting silver, I don't know if I'd want that either, right? It's like going out with a Stanley Cup. That's what you want. But I think it was very poetic to have her score that goal, become the U.S. women's hockey career goals, points in an Olympics. Like she's got it all now. There's nobody else.
Yeah, just her. Yeah. And she had no idea that she set that record. She had no idea.
Because I don't know how.
Well, if she's not, she's a great actor because when they said it to her, she was like, I did? Like she was like in shock. After, well,
That's
I
like
will
when
say,
you tell a player, yeah, you had a triple double in the game, and they're like, oh, did I?
I
Yeah.
understand, but also when you are in a gold medal match,
Yes.
you just talked about, I don't know if she has nerves, but we just talked about that. It's like that's the last thing that's going through your brain. You just want to win
Yeah,
this game.
absolutely. And players like her and Marie-Philippe Poulin, I mean, they've been there time and time again. Each of them, their fifth Olympics. Like, this is a very familiar situation that they found themselves in. And as an American, thankfully, Hilary Knight found herself on the other end of what she's usually feeling at the end of these gold medal games.
Well, I know, Emma, one of the reasons why we're talking like this right now about hockey is because you're such a huge fan. And I know we had talked about in the last Olympics how hard it was to see the US get the silver medal. And I don't want to scoff at the silver medal. Let me be clear.
No.
A silver medal in any Olympics is amazing, but they were so brokenhearted. Summer Sanders and I actually talked about this on the last show as well, how brokenhearted they were about the silver. What are your initial reactions to seeing them, as just the huge fan that you are, win the gold?
Bro, I mean, here's a couple thoughts. I put on my lucky sweatshirt, 1980 US Olympic sweatshirt this morning. I was like, if anybody's going to inspire gold for Team USA, it's going to be this sweatshirt. But it also, like, I went into this game feeling nervous because I know everybody's like, oh, 5-0. I was like, okay, but like, even though the US is the best on paper, it's a very, almost feels similar to like 1980 US Olympic hockey team going up against the USSR, right? Like, I watched Miracle last night, so sue me. But um the USSR was the best team on paper, and we know what happened in those Olympics, right? And I think when you get to a gold medal game, all bets are off. As a longtime fan, like, I was watching in class in 2014 when they lost that game in overtime, devastated, trying to pay attention in algebra while also trying not to cry, you know, as one does. And so that was heartbreaking. 2018, they brought it back with gold. And then 2022, obviously, they lost again. And I think it's just so rewarding, especially when they've had a tournament like this where it's been so historic, and knowing that, not to be too harsh, but if they had lost the gold and gotten silver, it's like, would that history really have meant as much? I don't want to say it wouldn't have meant anything, but it definitely wouldn't have meant as much, right? Um, and so there's that element, that feeling of it. And I think too, just knowing, like, we talk about Hilary Knight and these younger players, it's like Hilary Knight and Kendall Coyne Schofield were on the ice with the generation that they raised. Like, they brought up these players, and there's something so rewarding and fulfilling and like sweet about seeing them win gold with these young players, and knowing that they're leaving the game in a place better than they found it, because they fought so hard to get a league like the PWHL. And that's no knock to the leagues that came before, but it does feel like we're in a place where now women's pro hockey is sustainable and really moving forward. So like, you can leave with gold, leave knowing that like this younger generation that you inspired is going to be bringing hockey up for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, there are literal pictures of, I'll just take Hilary Knight, of Hilary Knight with many of the players that she's standing alongside right now.
Layla Edwards.
Old with, like, I mean, they were babies looking up to Hilary Knight, and the other players on the team too. But I'm just thinking about the specific photos that were in the broadcast. They had like 3 of them with Hilary Knight, and that in itself is just inspiring to me, because we can all be an inspiration to somebody like that, right? But to literally inspire them, have them come up the ranks, and then be beside you with the gold medal is wild.
Yeah.
Absolutely
It's
wild.
like Katie Ledecky with her Michael Phelps photo, which, like, every young swimmer has a Michael Phelps photo, but not everyone grows up to be Katie Ledecky, right? So it's one of those situations.
It's definitely one of those situations. And also, like, if I'm Hilary Knight, what? Like, these were kids I just took photos with, and now I'm with them. So it is just absolutely wild. Well, we talked about adversity earlier and how it's kind of the first time that the US had faced that in the Olympics. From your perspective, what was going wrong for the US, and then how did they come back and fix it to win the gold?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of it where, like, they just weren't playing their game. And I think a little bit of it is Canada was able to pull them out of their game and really have them bring them down to their level, while Canada also skated up a little bit. Like, it was a much different team than we saw the other day. And, obviously Philippe Poulin was back. She single-handedly drug Canada to that gold medal final. We all saw what happened with Switzerland.
Yeah.
And, that definitely made an impact. I also think that nerves went into it. I mean, we talk about how young this team is. A lot of them haven't been in this position before. And I think we saw a lot of passes that normally they would make just kind of be off center a little bit. And just the connection wasn't really there on the ice that we're used to seeing out of this team. But I think, I know it was a little nerve-wracking when Coach John pulled the goalie with 2 minutes left, and it's a little sooner than people usually pull their goalies. And I think even on the broadcast, they were like, this is a little, but obviously he knew what he was doing. And I think that really fired them up. And it is in a lot of ways a bummer for Canada, who really dominated all 3 periods of that game, like up until 2 minutes to go. And then it really felt like the momentum shifted to the US's direction once Hilary scored. And then in 3-on-3 hockey, which I hate 3-on-3 overtime hockey, it's like the most nerve-wracking thing in existence. I know people love it, but
a whole other notch.
It really does.
I love and hate it. I'm kind of in the middle of both, because it does take it up a notch and it's really exciting and it heightens everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I do like that in sport. But also there's a case to just like doing it the way that it was played in the first 3. So,
yeah. No, absolutely. I think it's really just a change of speed, and it really just tells you who's got the better legs at the end of the game. And the momentum shifts a lot quicker in 3-on-3 hockey. I mean, we saw even Canada was even dominating the overtime until Megan Keller was like, fine, I'll do it myself. Right. Kind of similar to how Quinn Hughes did it yesterday against Sweden. He just waved off the coach and said, I'm going to snipe shot top shelf. And here we go. We're on to the medal rounds. So,
and also, let's just get her done. Let's just get her done. That would be my thing.
I mean, that is the other element to it. But when you consider that it's a 20-minute 3-on-3 period versus like normal, I think is like 10 minutes in NHL, PWHL, like 20 minutes is a very long time to be doing 3-on-3 hockey without going to a shootout. But I don't like shootouts much either. Yeah. We did start this tournament on a shootout. It would have been poetic to end it on a shootout, but what a tournament it was.
Yeah, I don't think any of our nerves could have lasted. We would have both been passed out on our couches.
My couch almost broke. Like, I almost broke my couch.
Yeah, but that's like, during the gold medal game, breaking your couch, that's like a little like patch of honor or something. Like, you can look at that later and just, remember why you broke it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then my bank account can be like, what the heck?
Yeah, that part too.
Yeah.
Yeah, when going into this game, I was very nervous because we've talked about this across all sports, right? How losses really teach you something. And I was like, all the losses that Canada has had to the US, like leading up to this, taught them a lot about how they needed to adjust and what they needed to do. And they certainly did that. And so it played out the way that I kind of thought it would going in to the game because of that fact. However, I think it was going into the 3rd period, they interviewed Hilary Knight and she said, we haven't scratched the surface of what we are capable of right now. And when I heard that, I said, oh, it's going down. It's going down, because not only is that like a challenge to self, but it's a challenge to the whole team. And that they haven't like brought out all the tools. I mean, we saw it. They hadn't brought out all the tools that they had in their toolkit. And so they did that. They did it. They did really exactly. They showed us like exactly what they were capable of going in,
for
to that
sure.
final.
And I mean, when you talk about players, obviously Hilary Knight is a player of the game because she talked about, we haven't even scratched the surface, and then she sends it to overtime. I also think, when you look at the previous game in this tournament, I mean, Anne Renee Desbiens, the goaltender for Canada, in net, she got pulled in that 5-0 game, and then she turned it right back around, and today was like, you're not getting them past me without serious effort. And I think that is a testament to like the mental fortitude that it takes to play in these tournaments, and also just like goldfish, you're like a goldfish, right? You're on to the next. And I think big shout out to her, big shout out to Erin Frankel when you talk about like this is the toughest test she faced all Olympics. 29
Yeah,
shots on goal. She made 28 saves. I mean, any other goaltender, like that's a pretty good outing for any
absolutely.
other goaltender. It's just really high stakes, especially when you're going against Canada. And we know how heated this rivalry is, not to
Yeah.
put a play on words, but you know.
Well, you did.
I did. I did. I've watched the show. So it's,
No, definitely. I want to say Megan Keller's right because you score in OT, but you got to give it up to Hilary Knight. We don't know if she's retired. She said she was going to. We're not sure. But 16 years ago, Hilary Knight scored her first Olympic goal. And then tonight, she scores the goal that leads her into, as you said earlier, the all-time leading Olympic goal scorer in U.S. women's hockey history and all-time Olympic points leader in U.S. women's hockey history. So
crazy.
She's my player of the game. Like,
I mean,
you got.
We wouldn't be here without her. Like, we would not be in this position without her. Similar to like you think about legends of the game, Marie-Philippe Poulin, which she didn't score in this gold medal game, which is rare for her.
Very rare.
She scored in like the last 2 gold medal games. So the fact that she did it tonight, credit to the U.S. for kind of shutting down one of the legends of the game in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
So,
well, we've talked about our reactions, our overall thoughts. We're still catching our breath. Player of the game, we talked about that. But when you look at this like tournament in general, what does this mean for women's hockey and women's sports? Because it was monumental.
Yeah, no, it really is. I think, as someone that always wanted to play hockey growing up, there's a lot that comes to mind, and it's a little bit emotional because you've been on this journey, it feels like, with this team through all of these ups and downs. And like, really, it wasn't going to end any other way other than overtime, if we're being completely honest with ourselves. It's just the history of these two teams. And I think at the same time, like Beijing 2022, there were a couple women's pro leagues in North America, but this is really the first time that we've got sustainability and a singular pro league that I feel like we can get a lot of momentum moving towards, and a lot of players that have somewhere to go now beyond just the national team level after they leave college. And I think when you think as a young girl, when you look up to players, it's like you want to see them in more than just every 4-year Olympic tournaments, right? So being able to have the US win gold and go back to then their PWHL teams and be visible, be front and center, knowing that this is only the 3rd time that they've ever worn gold. And then one of the times I wasn't even born yet, not to make people feel old, but
we won't talk about that.
I mean, 2018 was really the first time that I feel like I ever saw the US team win gold. Obviously, like, no knock to Canada. I think a lot of those players have done a lot for the game, but there's so much that the US, like, we are doing in this space, right? And like, not that but this is where a lot of the top tier leagues for women's sports exist. And I think when you have an American team win gold like this, it really will do a lot for that momentum of the PWHL. And we've already seen them with historic momentum, breaking attendance records. So yeah. And then on the end of it, it's just like, it's freaking fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to go 31-1 and then win gold in like the most heart pounding way possible, like
no, absolutely.
Show people that like the women are just as good as the men, if not better. And their games are just as exciting, if not more exciting. And I will stand on that. Although yesterday's slate of hockey games was very fun. And I am excited to have the NHLers back in Olympic hockey. But the women have held it down. So
the women have held it down, and I'll stand on that with you for sure. I think when I'm watching this game and just all the games in the Olympics, when it comes to hockey specifically, the future is bright. You have all of this young talent that is absolutely killing it. I've already won gold now. When you look at the U.S. the USA team, and they're just primed and ready to, be the Hilary Knights that we have grown up with and seen. They're going to be taking pictures with the next generation of, little girls that are looking up to them and wanting to be like them. When I think about Layla Edwards and being
I
the
was just gonna
first,
say that.
yeah, when I think about Layla Edwards and being the first Black woman to be on the USA hockey team and also to score a goal and also to win gold. If, as an adult, even I'm inspired by that. I'm far past my playing years. I'm not going to get out there on the ice, but I'm going to show this to my God baby and let her know that my godchildren, both of my goddaughters, I'm going to show them that they can too get out there on the ice and do exactly what Layla Edwards does. And maybe one day they'll take a picture with her and be alongside her in a gold medal game.
I've thought about that countless times, especially it's like, think of how many little Black girls are out there and it's like, she looks like me. Like I can do that.
Yeah.
Like that's so transformative and like massive.
I didn't have that.
No,
I didn't have that coming up. I'm not going to tell you. I mean, I was born, I'll tell you because I'm not ashamed. I was born the same year as your sweater. And so I have been around for a minute, but I certainly didn't see it in 1980. I mean, I was a baby.
It's a good year to be
born
if you consider that it was a very golden year for the US.
Yes.
So.
No, I love the 80s. Okay.
Yeah,
I love when I was born, but I'm saying as I'm growing up, I did not see that. And now it is possible. And now we see it. And that is a huge thing. I also just want to say that I hope this sparks and ignites for women's hockey what has happened in a lot of other sports and women's sports is just the trajectory of like, we're going all the way up. I want people to cover this sport more. I want them to talk about it more. Like I said in the last pod, shout out to people who have been doing it for a long time, because there are, but more awareness, more coverage, just seeing how amazing this game is. And that's what I see when I see Team USA winning this gold.
Yeah. One last thing I will say is like, Michelle Kang, you want to like step in with any of your special donations that you've been doing? Because the other thing, I mean, with that growth of like coverage and everything, I think too, when you talk about grassroots levels, it's like hockey is so cost prohibitive. I grew up wanting to play hockey and my mom was like, she's from Minnesota. She's like, I knew how expensive it was. And I wasn't about like, we couldn't afford it, and I'm like, well, joke's on her because swimsuits aren't cheap either. But, it's very much something that like, as we grow the game, we need to think about ways that we can bring people into the sport that wouldn't otherwise have that opportunity because of the financial burden that it puts on parents, So if Michelle Kang wants to step in there with like a couple million here or there, I don't think USA Hockey or other hockey players would be opposed to that.
Come on, Michelle, you heard it. Let's go, Michelle.
Not to put her on blast, but she's done. I mean, she did it for rugby. We saw, the rugby team win bronze. And then, I mean, that's huge when you put money behind women's sports and really put emphasis on the growth. So,
well, and not only Michelle, I mean, people with money that want to enhance visibility in women's sports. Let's go. It's out there. There's a lot of it out there.
There really is.
There really is. And we need it. We have made so many strides in women's sports, but there's so much that needs to be done. And women's hockey is definitely one. There's a lot more visibility. The league is amazing. The PWHL is amazing. It's catapulting in ways that no other league has.
I want it on like national networks, though.
Yes, but we need that to increase that visibility. Let's get it on the national networks. We just saw women's college basketball in the primetime slot for the first time. We need to move hockey in that direction because it deserves it. And the women who are playing deserve it for sure.
Yeah. Them in volleyball, like you talk about the next sports up. I do feel like hockey is one of those sports. And I think volleyball is another one, but we'll just have to see. But winning gold, I think, is definitely going to help.
Yeah,
a lot.
Absolutely. So. How could it not? Well, we can all recover now a little bit. We've definitely broken down this game, but I'm gonna go watch some highlights again. See some
Go
of these.
watch the figure skating.
No, figure skating.
I
is
still
on.
cannot believe at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
That's a whole nother conversation we can have about how the coverage was done as well.
Right.
But
I mean, I get people aren't excited about waking up on Sunday for a gold medal men's final at like 8 a.m., but why are we putting 2 gold medal things? I mean, they do it, but like 2 of the biggest sports, and I prioritized. I did miss out on Amber Glenn, but I did hear she had a really good skate. So
she did.
Congrats
She
to
did.
her.
I was looking on social as I was watching the hockey game, and she did her thing for sure.
Love seeing her rebound after that short program.
Absolutely. Man, a lot of stories of redemption in these Olympics.
You're just going to have to break it down on Monday on CBS Sports Network with Tarika.
Yeah, Tarika Foster-Brasby and I will be doing that. And Emma, since you're on here, what time? Where can we find it?
I believe it's at 12 p.m. Eastern on CBS Sports Network.
All right.
If my time is correct.
Come on, producer. Let's go.
I'm constantly, Alicia knows this. I'm constantly with all of the time zones. Like, I'm at this point a time zone expert. I try my best, at least.
It is. I almost messed up and messed around and missed the hockey game because I was messed up on my times today. So I didn't.
Well, this is for my boss. I was busy working. So I was not at all watching it from my television or from my couch. I was definitely working as I was supposed to be.
Yeah, I was working and taking notes and getting ready for this. So we both.
Technically, watching the game was working.
We had to.
We were doing this.
We had to.
I just had other things that I was doing at the same time.
Yeah, we get to is what we should say.
Yes.
But Emma, it was great breaking down this gold medal match.
I do have to point this out. Anything but curling. Whoever you are, I will say the women this morning with their like sudden death win to advance to the medal round, the women's curling team, like put some respect on that. Like I didn't know curling could be that exciting, but like, come on.
Anything but curling. Curling, I love me some curling. It's one of the sports I would want to try. And they had some controversy. It was a lot going on in curling.
Bro, the cheating scandal?
Yeah, come on.
Oh my God. What do you mean? I didn't know they got down like that. Okay.
Yeah. No, we here for curling. We here for curling.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. TZ4.
Yeah. It's okay. We still love you though. We appreciate the comment. We appreciate you commenting, and we appreciate
Alicia can be nicer than I.
I try. Sometimes you've heard me on here.
You have to see these people more often. So, I'm usually hiding.
Yeah.
Hiding camera.
You have heard me on here not be as nice though. So
yeah.
Whenever
usually they deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, Emma, it's been great breaking down this gold medal match with you. Everybody gets a chance to see you, and I love it. Usually behind the scenes, fielding all these.
I had to put my hat on because I was like, was not prepared. So I was like, it's hair wash day.
No, I got up this morning and said, I think we're going to do a pod today. Like I felt good about it. So I was like, yeah.
No, I know I should have, but I was, unfortunately.
Yeah. I didn't have any cool gear like that, but I do have on my sports bra sweatshirt.
I love the sports bra sweatshirt.
Yes.
I have spent too much money on a couple different hoodies, and I need to stop doing that because then I always look at my bank account. I'm like, I should not have done that.
The hoodies will get you. They will get you.
And then my mom's like, aren't you going to get rid of any? And I'm like, no. Why would I do that?
Because I bought them all for a reason.
Right?
It's like art, but in hoodie form.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm like, every single t-shirt in my drawer has emotional attachment to it. So,
Absolutely.
Anyways,
you can make this last little tip. You can make a quilt out of your emotional t-shirts.
Girl, I have a whole Northwestern blanket that I need to get put together, but that is like a $500 investment that I'm like, I just haven't had the time. So I'm like, if I'm going to do it, I want it to look right.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
So
I'm with you.
But I've got ideas. I think I want it to be fleece on the back. So,
Well, Emma and I are going to go decompress and work on our emotional t-shirt quilts. And we just want to thank you guys for joining us today on this pod. Wow. I mean, we have some recovering to do for sure, but the U.S. took the gold. It was so exciting. Women's hockey is exciting. We're going to uplift it in every way that we can. And we'll see you next time right here on We Need to Talk Now, presented by AT&T.
Bye.